Hey guys, thought I'd just jump straight in with the forging I'm doing today, and that is a twisted 240 layer 1095 15N20 twisted billet, which will form part of another billet, which will be 1, 2, 3, possibly 4 layers, four billets welded together to form a knife. I don't know how this is going to pan out yet. I was looking at it there on the anvil and I'm thinking maybe it's a little bit too big, too square. I kind of want it a little bit skinnier. I don't know. I thought I'd forge it down further, but I'm going to grind it anyway. And depending on how I lay the billet up, I can always grind a bit more steel off, you know. But I'm using half of that bar. I'm going to try and make 2 knives out of this. If the billet works out, I'm sending it to a guy called Dave, if he's watching, so you know who you are, Dave. What have I been up to? I've been to the knife show at near Bristol. It's a great day out. Met some nice guys there, some other knife makers. I wasn't showing, I just went to have a look. I took a little giraffe bone handled folding knife which I've just made. I'll have to slip this in here guys in the video because I didn't, you know, that went off like 2 weeks ago. It went off to the customer, and he may already have it now, I don't know, but if he's watching if he's watching this, I couldn't show you the other side of it because there's something written on it which kind of would have given the game away, but here's the knife anyway. It's an 01 steel knife, a giraffe bone obviously, with brass bolsters and brass liners and an 01 blade. You see, it does need cleaning up yet. Got to just get rid of all the tiny little microscopic scratches and things on it. But that'll get done once I've got the lettering done on this other side. It really does feel so comfortable. I've put that little divot in the top as kind of like a thumb ramp there, and that little choil on underneath. It's such a nice little grip. It's a 3-inch blade, legal carry blade. What else have I been doing? I've just finished this little San Mai for a customer. Bringing on this one, giraffe bone, and I've put 3 different spacers in there. You can probably see them. I think they look quite nice, and some mosaic pins in it and some black wood. Just a little kind of camp knife I do now. It's one of my new models. It's just in really nice size, you know. Yes, that's come out rather nice, that knife. 1095, it's like a razor, of course. And sheath. I've also been experimenting with kydex. I made this. This is a new little model. This is a neck knife I am going to do, and this is another new steel I'm trying out at the moment. It's a carbon steel which should hold a 61 Rockwell edge. I think it's said to be a 62 Rockwell edge, but I'm just finding it a little bit chippy at 62. I'm still experimenting with it. This is kind of the first one at 62. It holds an edge for an absolute age. I've sliced through 70 slashes through cardboard, and it's still razor sharp. I'm going to lower the Rockwell just to make it a little less chippy, but if it's just a cutting knife you wanted, that thing will hold an edge for an age. It is really sharp. It's a very thin grind on that with a little micro bevel, and man, that is sharp, and it fits so nice. just in your hand, and there's a little grip there for your thumb, and your finger just curls nicely around the bottom. It's just such a great little blade. And this is kind of my first go with Kydex. It didn't really work out. I made the Kydex a little bit too small. The rivets or the fasteners are just too near the edge. It's got a good hold anyway. I mean, it's first go at Kydex, so I've sent for some 1mm Kydex. I'm just going to try that and see how it is on this sheath, but I'm thinking 2mm Kydex is probably going to be better. I've since sent for some more pins, some longer fasteners, some with a longer post, you know, so they'll do for the new sheath. But yeah, the handle is some micarta I made a long time ago, probably 2-3 years ago. I made that micarta. Fiberglass resin and some, I think they were a pair of old jeans or something, old trousers I had. It looks okay, but I just didn't like using it. It's horrible stuff to work with. Just doesn't want to sand, clogs belts up. But probably the first and last time I'll use it. I won't be bothered making any more of it, that's for sure. Lots of different projects and things on the go. I've been doing making some printing screens. The reason that I've been doing making the screens is really it was to try and make these stencils for etching logos. Everything I touch goes wrong because I got the screen. The mesh is 90 mesh, 90 grid mesh, and I bought the emulsion to put on the screen. I ordered that. It came, as I said, never done this before. The emulsion came. I made the screen. I put the emulsion on. I let it dry. I tried to put the image on, and when I came to wash the emulsion off where the image should be, the whole screen washed off. I did that 3 times, and then I went to look back at the container they'd sent me, and they'd sent me a different emulsion from the one I'd actually ordered, which was great because this emulsion they'd sent me needs kind of a second part to it, which they hadn't sent, and I'm just like, what? So when I do the second screen, I didn't bother filming it because just, you know, so when I do the second screen, I'll do a video on that and I'll show you how I do it. And as I say, really it's for doing these little stencils for etching the logos, and if it works out, it's going to be a really cost-effective way of making those little stencils. I mean, you can, so cheap, there'll be virtually zero cost per stencil, because I only use little tiny ones, so maybe a penny a stencil or something, so you can afford to just use them once and throw them. But they'll also come out. I want to try doing some patterns on the steel as well, not just Damascus, but some really nice patterns or etchings into the steel. So these just different pictures, you know, on the steel. I don't know, it's just something I like. So I'm gonna print out some different pictures and patterns on the knives, hopefully. If this works, we will see. There's another little knife. that's kind of the first one I made, and that's at 62 Rockwell as well, and I've been using that purely for testing. I've been hammering it through things. I'd hammered it through some wood, and the edge stayed fine, but if it comes into contact with anything hard, it's okay on a brass rod test. I've done it on a brass rod test, the edge flexes, but if you hit it on anything hard like a piece of steel, or you drop it on the concrete like that, or probably won't drop on the edge because you want it to. Yeah, the front has now, it just feels a little bit chippy. That's on steel, although that's not really marked it. It's not chipped it actually. It's put some. I can feel it on the edge. It's not chipped, it's just kind of rolled a little bit, but that's hitting it on a piece of quarter plate steel, and that edge is so thin. It's really thin, that edge. So maybe I've misjudged it a little, this steel. It is a carbon steel. My third one, I'm going to heat treat it slightly different, and I'm just going to up the tempering temperature, and I'm going to temper it for 2 hours and then 1 hour, and I think I will have it nailed, because I've got a couple of guys wanting knives off me, and I think this is going to be a great steel for them. Oh yeah, I have got a new belt for Harrop. Awesome now. I was just having problems when I was doing surface grinding on it, and it was that belt setting up vibration which was transferring into the grinding head, which I just didn't think it would do that, but it has. Anyway, I've put a new belt on which is more rigid now, and it's amazing. It's just no problem. So I'll do a little bit of grinding with her, but as I'm doing these knives, because I'll probably surface grind this multiple layer billet. I am cutting up some Damascus, some steel plate today. It's on the bench ready now, 15N20 and 1095. I'm cutting that up now because I've got two knives to make for a guy who ordered the axe, if he's watching. So your knives are coming now, mate, finally. And I've got another folder to make, but I'm doing it without a back spring, this one, so that'll be kind of cool. And I've got some new handle materials as well, which I am going to use. But other than that, not much else going on, guys. So stand by. I'll bring all these. You know, I've been filming these videos, and I just like to make a complete video out of them. You know, I also want to do another challenge. And I'm kind of going to extend out the challenge time on this, because it's not going to be an easy challenge. I want to do something a little bit more difficult, which involves lots of different materials. I've just got some 1095 powder. I don't know whether it's better or worse than 1084 powder, which a lot of people seem to use, but I'm going to try it anyway, because I do use a lot of 1095 steel, and I've really got me mind on doing this beautiful pattern surrounded by 1095 powder. Yeah, it's something I really want to do. If it comes out, I think it's just going to look fantastic. But I'll bring you along on that one as well. I'm getting all these kind of videos, filming different bits and pieces, and then they'll all merge into one video. So that's probably why I've not been doing a lot of video, guys. I'm rambling on. I'll see you very soon. Thank you to my patrons. Thanks to everyone who watches. Thumbs up or thumbs down, whatever you want to do. Thanks, guys. See you soon.